All right, everyone, now it's time for very, very, very early poll analysis for the upcoming election. Of course, you've only got several people that have joined in on the GOP race. Trump, though, remains steadily and handily out front. It's not even close. It's by the double-digit margins. Nobody else is within basically the distance to reach him. Even if he were to have like a couple of disastrous debates, it's not clear that you'd be able to make up the difference. Again, as I've pointed out, one of the big spoilers is going to be whether some states that are run at the lower level by people who are MAGA friendly don't simply endeavor to suspend the campaigns and the primaries altogether and simply allocate delegates to Trump and say, well, look, he's technically the incumbent. The Dems may have an incumbent. We need that advantage, so we're giving it to Trump. You like him or hate him, and they could try to negotiate with the Uniparty and get DeSantis in as running mate. That's a possibility. There's nothing wrong with that particular ticket. I'd vote for it probably. Again, I have my misgivings about some of the shenanigans I see with Ron DeSantis, but so far I have not been put out so far. It's like it's not at Pence levels. When Pence was put in as running mate in the 2016 election, you'll remember for a while I was off the Trump train. I wisely got back on. You know, everyone likes a winner. For a while I supported Gary Johnson. Considering how much that campaign imploded, there really wasn't exactly much of a choice. Anyway, Bill Weld's corruption aside, Trump remains ahead by between 10 and 30 points in basically every poll that you see here. It's well outside of the statistical margin of error, by the way. I would like to point out one bit of wonkiness with all of the presidential polls that we're seeing here for the GOP. And you don't see so much of that for the Dems. I think there's a reason for that. Right now, most of the people that are counted in these polls aren't running. They have not decided to run. Ron DeSantis has made no binding decision. He's more like, oh, we'll wait and see. And I have a feeling that he's waiting to see how many other people get into the race because he knows that if the field against Trump is diluted, it's not worth taking the risk. If there's 4 or more other people already in by, let's say, the end of the year, I think DeSantis will make an announcement that he's standing down. If nobody else wants to get in, he probably goes in. He probably becomes the anti-Trump. He becomes the Jeb Bush of the cycle, potentially. It could be politically disastrous for him. Although, at least, unlike everyone else in the field, he has a shot. Like Nikki Haley doesn't have a possibility in hell. Ramaswamy doesn't have a possibility in hell. John Bolton, people pretend that he's not even announced. He did announce. He is officially running for the GOP nomination. Nobody even mentions him in legacy media reporting. I've no clue why they overlook him so much. I guess they prefer Haley. She's the more family-friendly warmonger in the field, so they prefer to talk about her. And she's got the added bonus of not being a straight white male, so hey, isn't it great? She checks off some grievance boxes. We'll hammer the Dems from the left and be more woke than them. Strategy's been tried before. It goes fucking nowhere. Anyway, Trump is well ahead, but you do have that one consideration. That is that one person that's running, Bolton, is never in these polls. Other people that aren't currently running, like Pence, DeSantis, Ted Cruz, who has said he will stand down and there's no evidence that he'll pull a Nikki Haley and go all in. Why are they in the polls? They don't have a campaign. I'd like to see a poll that limits it just to those people that are actually there. Let's see in a 4-way race with Trump v. Bolton, Haley, and Ramaswamy what the end result is. I figure Trump gets 70% in such a poll, with the others splitting the rest. Haley probably taking about 15 points. Ramaswamy probably taking 12, and little Bolton will be at like 2 or 3 or something like that. That'd be my best guess. But we don't have any polls like that. In fact, we don't have a single poll that reflects the actual field. So when we look at this and say, well, Trump is handily ahead, yes, but we're qualifying that by saying we're artificially diluting the polling sample. I think that he takes the majority simply because none of the other candidates in is anything other than C tier at best. Haley I'd put on the C tier. Ramaswamy maybe too. Bolton is on the F tier. You don't have any B tier candidates yet. You don't have a Mike Pence would be a B tier candidate. I don't like him. I would never vote for him. If he were the nominee, I wouldn't vote at all. I'd vote for Mickey Mouse or the Libertarian Party or write myself in or something like that, or vote for some meme candidate. But he does get about 10 points. So he's on the B tier. He's technically viable. He's at that outside edge of viability. Haley's on the inside edge of non-viability. It would take a miracle to bring her into the tier where she has a shot. So I just don't see anyone, there's no one in the field that can beat Trump. There's very few people in the prospective field that even have viability. I think that what we're going to end up seeing is Trump nominated. I don't think that there will be as much of a contest and blood feud as some people speculate. Again, unless you have a non-diluted field and DeSantis says, well, there is that core of anti-Trump voters. If I can just shove these other also-rans aside, I do stand a chance at getting the nomination. Then the spoiler becomes states that decide that they're going to allow Trump to clinch because they are full-on MAGA and because MAGA controls that state function and is capable of overriding the normal primary system. They may do that due to technical incumbency. We'll wait and see, though. It's still very, very early in the game. Technically speaking, the election season hasn't begun yet. You've got a ways to go, quite some time. Many moons must pass, my young Padawan, before we will know the secret of who will be the next Sith Lord reigning over the United States, destroying it, or whether Trump will come back and then things will be at least semi-normal for a while. That's about all. Peace out.